Right. In Bhakti movement, I ended up in my last class the introductory part of the movement. The background why Bhakti movement started, and in its nature and content, how it was different from Bhakti movement of ancient times. Bhakti movement of ancient times simply talked about only salvation. It did not address the problems social, economic and political. Whereas the Bhakti movement we are going to discuss, it addressed itself the issues, social, economic and political. It's because of this Bhakti movement, you have a Vijayanagara empire founded. It's because of this Bhakti movement, you have Shivaji Maharaj founding Swaraj. So in content, you see political implication here in the Bhakti movement. Bhakti reformers preached Nirguna Bhakti, you understand? A better means to attain salvation. They condemned social evils. In the Bhakti movement of ancient times, very rarely you see a reference to the social evils. Whereas medieval Bhakti reformers, they condemned social evils, untouchability, caste inequalities. They condemned all that. They opposed exploitation, exploitation of the labor by the dominant landlords. That's why I say Bhakti movement of medieval times addressed the problems of the contemporary society. In this regard, this is definitely different from the Bhakti movement of earlier times. This Bhakti movement divided into, again, two schools of thought. That too, in Saguna Bhakti. Saguna Bhakti, you have Rama Bhakti and Krishna Bhakti. Before that, it was Nirguna Bhakti and Saguna Bhakti. Nirguna Bhakti, God is Niramaya, Nirguna and Nirakar. Why? Because there's criticism from Islam. Islam is criticizing you that when your Upanishads say God is Niramaya and Nirguna, why you Hindus worship God in an idol form? To counter that, our Bhakti reformers also started preaching Nirguna Bhakti. Who comes under Nirguna Bhakti? Shankaracharya, Adi Shankara, Sant Kabir Das, Guru Nanak. Then you have, Narsi Mehta, Birban, Dadu, Dadu Dayal. They all come under Nirguna thinkers, Gora, a potmaker Gora. They all come under Nirguna. Saguna Bhakti, no, God is everything perfect. God is utmost beautiful expression in this world. You are attributing quality to God. This Saguna Bhakti started with Vaishnava thinkers. Ramanujacharya, Nimbaraka, Madhva, Vallabha, Meera, Ramanand, Tulsidas, Surdas, Sundardas, they are all Saguna Bhakti thinkers. So in Bhakti movement, you have Saguna, Nirguna schools of thought. This you don't see in Bhakti movement already started in ancient India. Right. Sir, you place Shankaracharya under Nirguna Bhakti? You may question me, because Shankara himself founded mathas. Shankara himself installed idols. When Shankara installed idols, how can you place Shankara under Nirguna Bhakti? Shankaracharya's philosophy essentially Nirguna Bhakti. But if you explain Nirguna Bhakti, all may not follow it, understand it and follow it. That's why better you give them first Saguna. bring him into the track. Why you worship God in an idol form? You can relate yourself to an idol first. Okay. When you continue to relate yourself to an idol, a point will come where you don't require even idol. Got the point? Every day morning I see Shirdi Sai Baba. Last 30 years I have been seeing it. Seeing it. Even if I close my eyes, I can see his, form, his human form. You understand? So I don't require his idol anymore. While traveling also, I just meditate. I am telling only an example. So you are from Saguna, you are going towards Nirguna. Finally, whether you reach the target or not is very important. That's why Shankara, utmost rationalist Shankara, he knew the problem. That's why he had brought the people first into Saguna, then his intention is to take them to Nirguna. Okay. That's why I place Shankara under Nirguna Bhakti actually. Okay. Then, who is this Shankaracharya and how the Bhakti movement started with the Shankara? Okay. You got direct questions in UPSC. Direct questions in UPSC. Okay. Did I explain all this? Yeah, where did I stop? We came up to Kabir. Okay. Sant Kabir Das also we completed. No. Why complete? Did I dictate anything on this? No. Where did I dictate? Where was the last? Ramanan. Right. Ramanan. So I have given already this understanding. Okay. In the synoptic note I found only up to this point. That's why, that's complete synopsis given. It's a complete synopsis given. Right, fine. Doesn't matter. When it comes to Kabir, Kabir was born at Varanasi. Okay. The most popular Bhakti reformer, Kabir. Most popular, why you say most popular? First Bhakti reformer to preach Hindu-Muslim unity, Kabir. Number one. Number two, universal brotherhood. Okay. That also started with Kabir. Kabir simplified the things which are highly otherwise complicated. One cannot read and understand. He made them very simple. That simplified form of Kabir's teachings is dohas. Okay. Dohas composed in the language Awadhi. Awadhi is the language he used. Okay. Actually, Bhojpuri is also a section there. Okay. But most of the dohas are composed in Awadhi language. Collection of that dohas, you call it as bijaks. Bijaks. If you remember, I told you, okay, Kabir was persecuted by Sikandar Lodi for preaching Hindu-Muslim unity and all that. Okay, most popular reformer. Next to Kabir, you have Guru Nanak. Nanak born at Talwandi, influenced by Sant Kabir Das and Rai Das. Okay, Nanak left in his childhood home, going around the holy places. Okay. Finally, he was traced in India, having visited Makkah, Medina and all the holy shrines. Nanak's essential teachings are what? Same thing. Nirguna Bhakti, Nirankar. Okay. Universal brotherhood, male-female equality. Understand? An egalitarian society. Okay. You have Nanak's Gurudwar, Nanak, the place where he was buried, Kartarpur, you know that. Kartarpur Gurudwara. Right. Imran Khan, when he was Prime Minister, he decided to open the gates for Sikh pilgrims to visit Kartarpur Gurudwara. Right. Nanak's followers, Sikhs. Sikhism's first Guru, Nanak. Whether Sikhs accept Nanak as, the founder or not, that's a different thing. Because a section believes that Guru Gobind is the real founder. Right. There are differences. Leave it. After that you have Tulsidas, Surdas, Sundardas, Tulsidas Rama Bhakti. You know, Tulsidas, contemporary of Akbar. Akbar, preaching Rama Bhakti, composed all-time great Ramacharita all-time great Ramacharita. Okay, part of Ramacharita you have Hanuman Chalisa. Hanuman Chalisa is part of Ramacharita. The language, Avadhi. Avadhi is the language. When we are talking about language, emphasizing on language, we are trying to make you people understand how the local languages were developing. Understand? How Hindi developed. Okay, how Avadhi developed, how Bhojpuri developed, okay, how Bengali developed. Chaitanya Prabhu composing kirtans in Bengali. Chaitanya's Vaishnavism, you call it as Gudiya Vaishnavism. What is Gudiya? Okay. Kirtana. You recite Kirtana, you play the Kirtana along with the instrument. Right? Then you also dance. Okay. So recital, instrumentation and dance, three clubbed together. It is just like your ISKCON movement. You must have seen ISKCON movement. Okay. They hold a harmonium, they recite Kirtana, and with that they dance. Okay. That is the form of Gudiya Vaishnavism. Chaitanya's Vaishnavism above caste creed differences within the reach of common man. Okay. Bring religion within the reach of common man. When Chaitanya was preaching his Vaishnavism, you remember I told you, Alauddin Hussain Shah of Bengal, Sultan Alauddin Hussain, he came under the influence of Chaitanya, declared himself an avatar of Krishna Bhagavan. Remember? He took the titles Jagat Bhushan, Napati Tilak. Okay. So profound the impact of Chaitanya on Bengal. Right. Then Surdas, he wrote to Sursagar. Sundaradas, he wrote to Sundaravilasa. Okay. Surdas promoting Krishna Bhakti. In the Sundaravilasa text, you have 6 philosophical systems. Class, if you remember, I told you there are 6 philosophical systems, Shad-darshanas. Understand? Shad-darshanas, Sankhya Shastra, Yoga. Remember? Okay. Patanjali's Yoga. Nyaya, Gautama's Nyaya. Kannada's Vaisheshika. Okay. Uttaramimamsa and Purvamimamsa. These are all 6 philosophical systems. You find these systems for the first time in Sundaravilas. Right. Then you have Narsi Mehta, okay, preaching monotheism. Dadu Dayal, great reformer from Gujarat. Dadu born in the community of weavers. Okay, weavers preaching monotheism. The classical teachings of Dadu, they were compiled in the form of the text Dadu Dayaram Ki Bani. Bani means Vani, the walk. Okay. Last of these thinkers you have Shankar Dev. Shankar Dev most popular, first to preach Vaishnavism in Narmada, in Brahmaputra Valley. Brahmaputra Valley means Assam. Assam. Shankar Dev first to preach Vaishnavism in Assam. Okay. Ekasarana Dharma, a form of extreme devotion to God Vishnu Bhagavan. Okay. In this Vaishnava mutts in Assam, founded by Shankar Dev, they perform a rhythmic dance, right, while reciting the bhajan and the kirtan. That dance is what is called Satriya. Satriya. UPSC gave a question on that. What was Satriya? Satriya, the classical dance form of Assam. The origins of Satriya, they are traced to the form of Vaishnavism preached by Shankar Dev. Shankar Dev in Assam. This is the chain of bhakti reformers. In Maharashtra, you have another different sect of bhakti reformers. It's a sect, different sect. Okay. Maratha Bhakti movement. Okay. Gyaneshwar, the first of the Maratha Bhakti reformers. Why Maratha Bhakti movement? I already had given you an understanding on that. When Islam entered into Maratha region, mass conversions taking place, mass destruction of the temples taking place. Islam posing a major threat for Maratha culture. The need of the time, someone must come to the forefront, must rise to the occasion, defend Maratha culture. Okay. That's why Shivaji, an embodiment of Maratha nationalism. How Shivaji could come forward and take up the task of leading Maratha movement? Ground was already prepared by great Maratha Bhakti reformers. They preached what is called the concept Maratha Dharma. Dharma, duty. Maratha Dharma, for what? Ultimately it was for Swaraj. Dharma means duty. You fight for your identity. That is your duty. Protect your own culture. That is your duty. Aim of Maratha Dharma, ultimate aim, Swaraj. What was Swaraj? The will of the people. We the Marathas, our will shall prevail here in our land. It does not mean we are against Islam. Got the point? I told you many a time, Shivaji Maharaj specific instructions for his troops, not to misbehave with Muslim women, not to harass Muslim children, not to desecrate Quran, not to demolish mosque. Okay. We are fighting for our identity. We are Marathas, nothing wrong. You fight for your identity. When you are fighting for your identity, it does not mean you are against Islam. Okay. This concept Maratha Dharma started with Gyaneshwar, the first and the earliest of the Maratha Bhakti reformers. Gyaneshwar wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. That commentary became popular as Gyaneshwari or Maratha Bhagavad Gita. Other name for this is Bhavardha Deepika. Bhava Ardha Deepika. Bhavardha Deepika. Gyaneshwar founded the sect called Varkari. Worship Vitala Swami of Pandaripur. Okay. When you promote one god to be the center for a movement, then that would in turn forge unity. In this class, we are all worshipping one God. Then there would be great unity within the class. So finally, bringing unity is very important. For that, you promote one cult. That cult promoted by Gyaneshwar, Vitoba cult, Vitala Swami cult. Vitala Swami, the presiding deity of Pandaripur. For Marathas, Pandaripur cult. Just as in UP you have Ram, Ayodhya. For UP people, no better than alternative than Ayodhya. Okay. Jai Sri Ram. That's what. Understand? If you go to Maharashtra, you have Pandaripur. Okay. Jai Pandurang. Okay. For us coming from Andhra Pradesh, we have Lord Balaji. Lord Venkateshwara, okay, our household deity. Then you go to Tamil Nadu, you have Lord Subramanya, Kartikeya, okay, Kerala, Ayyappan. Okay. Every state has one, one cult, you understand? And that cult invokes lot of unity among them. Got the point? The purpose is finally to bring unity. Okay. Gyaneshwar followed by Namdev, Eknath. Namdev composed Abhangs. Namdev's Abhangs, they found their expression into Guru Granth Sahib. There Guru Granth Sahib, there you see the verses of Namdev. Okay. Sikh holy text. Okay. Adi Granth. Then Namdev, after Namdev, you have Eknath. He tried to bring unity by emphasizing on Maratha language. Language, medium, Maratha. That's why if you go to Maharashtra, you see Maratha people, however qualified they are, highly qualified people, but they speak only in Marathi. I've seen top technocrats and the heads of the multi-millionaire institutions also. Okay. When I met them, they speak only in Marathi. Okay. You need a Marathi person to accompany you, to talk to them. Okay. That's why in Maratha politics also, religion is a very powerful instrument there. Call it either the party Shiva Sena or some other Sena or Shambhaji Sena or all that. They are very powerful factions. Okay. This is because the background is this way. Okay. They are more powerful than chief ministers. So some of the heads of these wings, understand? They are the ones who decide actually Maratha politics. Understand? Then you have Bhakti Tukaram. Tukaram, the most popular undoubtedly. It was Tukaram who popularized the cult of Vitala Swami of Pandharipur. Devotional songs, any devotional song in Marathi, you call it Abhang. Okay. Tukaram's Abhangs, they are the most popular songs in Marathi. Even today, highly devotional and you will definitely be impressed, not me. You will be very much impressed by the spirit of the devotional songs of Tukaram. Tukaram, a contemporary of Shivaji Maharaj. Contemporary of Shivaji Maharaj, Bhakta Tukaram. Next to Tukaram, you have Samadram Das, Guru Samadram Das. It was Guru Samadram Das who motivated Shivaji for Swaraj. That's why Swaraj, when it was formed, Shivaji dedicated Swaraj to Guru Samadram Das. He dedicated it to his Guru. Okay. The teachings of Samadram Das were compiled in the form of the text called Dasa Bodha. Dasa Bodha, the teachings of Guru Ramdas, Samadram Das. Samadram Das, he founded another sect called Varkari. Okay. Dharkari. Varkari started with Jnaneshwar. Varkaris means worshipping Vitala Swami of Pandharipur. You call them Varkari. V-A-R-K-A-R-I. Okay. Varkari by Jnaneshwar. Guru Samadram Das started Dharkari. Dharkari means not only religion, politics. I mean, it is a movement with both the concepts religion and politics. Just as you are devoted to Vitala Swami of Pandharipur, you should also be ready for fight for your own identity. Hope you are understanding. Mere devotion is not enough. You also require the spirit to fight for your identity. That is Varkari. Club religion with political ideology. That is Varkari. Not only religion, politics. These are Maratha Bhakti reformers. This is, in its essence, Bhakti movement. I did not explain, so I explained, I touched upon all these aspects now. Then go to Sufi movement. What is Sufi movement? Islamic reformist movement, number one. Why Islamic reformist movement? Islam stands for simplicity. Islam stands for faith. What is the essence of Islam? Faith. Faith in God. That's why you don't see any atheist in Islam. If someone says, I am an atheist, okay, then you had it. You understand? They will issue immediately fatwa. Okay. Fatwa. If you don't believe in existence of God, it is like death for you. Got the point? Islam never accepts atheism. Okay. One good thing about Islam, they follow everything tenaciously. Other religions, why they criticize Islam, I am yet to understand. It's because they follow everything tenaciously, is it? You Hindus, you don't know what is your sloka. You don't know what is your prayer. You don't follow your custom. You don't follow your tradition. On the other hand, Hindu parents take pride, telling that their children are very fluent in English. A shame on their part, and accept it. You say that your son doesn't go to temple. Your son is not interested in prayers. You don't teach him how to conduct his life. Okay. When Muslims do all this tenaciously, you are finding fault with them. You Hindu woman, you don't wear tilak. You don't wear bangles. You are ultra modern. Okay. If Muslim woman wears a burqa as per her custom and tradition, you find fault with her. You say it's our freedom. Fine, let them also have their own freedom then. Get the point? There is a point in it. Sufism means Islamic reformation. Why reform within Islam? Because Islam stands for faith. Islam stands for faith and Islam stands for peace. Unfortunately, that's what I'm telling. The noble aspects of Islam, Holy Quran, they have not come to the limelight. It's the time for Muslim theologists and the scholars to talk about the noble aspects. Forget about trivial issues, how to go for an ideological clash with a Hindu or a Christian or anything, jihad and all. Nonsense. Bring out where your religion stands outstanding when compared with other religions. Talk about the greatness of your religion. Okay. Islam stands for faith. Islam stands for simplicity. Then where problem had started? Unfortunately, Muslims have drifted away from these noble principles. Okay. Instead of you being faithful to God, okay, a sort of arrogance and aggressive nature appeared in Islam. Okay. Are you understanding? Questioning, revolting against the scriptures. Okay. There is no word called Sultan, I told you. If you remember, in Islam, there is no word called Sultan. Islam doesn't recognize Sultan. Whereas you have Sultans formed. These Sultans revolting against Khalifa. Islam recognized only Khalifa. The Haqq, the creator. Creator means Supreme God, Supreme Being. The representative of the Supreme Being, the Haqq, the creator, Khalifa. Whereas Sultans revolting against Khalifa. Islam stands for simplicity, whereas Muslims prefer to lead life with luxury, ease and comfort. Okay. When you are going for luxuries, when you are spending money irresponsibly, leading a lavish lifestyle, you are drifting away from the path to simplicity. Are you understanding? That's why, come to the point. Sufi means, literal meaning of the word Sufi is wool, W-O-O-L. Sufi derived from Suf, S-U-F, Suf. Suf, literal meaning wool, W-O-O-L. Wool is the sign for simplicity. Silk is the sign for opulence. Silk costly. Silk is costly. You go for wool. Wool is simple. Understand? From that word Suf, which stands for simplicity, the word Sufi is derived. कौन बनेगा करोड़पति? क्वेश्चन है ये, अमिताभ बच्चन पूछा है. हाँ? So, okay, what is the real meaning of the word so? Real meaning of the word so? Wool, woolen textiles. It's a sign for simplicity. Okay, that is the real meaning of Sufism. What is the essence of Sufism? Essence of Sufism, Wahadat ul wazud, Wahadat ul wazud. Okay, that means God is just the same. Whether you call him Ram or Krishna Bhagavan or Shiva or Jesus or Allah or anything, finally God is just the same. Okay. Wahadat ul wazud, unity of being. Unity of being. Wahadat ul wazud. That is the main theme. You mean Sufis accept the other religions also? They accept. If not they accept, they won't persecute. They don't preach hatred. That's why Sufis had come closer to the Hindus. Okay. Sufism, in a way, universal in its outlook. It is above caste creed differences. That's why Sufis had become the gurus for Hindus also. Hindus name their children after the Sufi saints. In North India, I have not seen much, but in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, we have a tradition. We respect the Peer. Peer means Guru. In Sufism, Peer means Guru. In Peer festival means we will go there. We will go there and carry the flag there. Hindus make Hadavdi, lot, Ratsa Gitcha and all that. Actually, that is more a festival for a Hindu than a Muslim. Get the point. Okay? So Sufism, universal. It's above all caste creed differences. Where actually Sufism started? First, it started in Iraq. First Sufi saint, very interestingly, a woman by name Rabia, Begum Rabia of Bashera. She was the first Sufi saint. Begum Rabia of Bashera, Iraq. In Iraq, Sufism developed its ideology, its form and content with great thinkers. Who are the great thinkers in Sufism? Buwajid Bustami and Abul Rashid of Kufa and Ghazali. They are all great thinkers. Thinkers, Bustami, Abul Rashid of Kufa and Ghazali. Thinkers in Sufism. Wajid Bustami founded the concept Wahdatul Wazud. God is just the same. Are you finding it difficult to understand these names? Okay. You have got to understand. There is no other go. And remember, okay, I know I am playing over your brains regarding these words, Persian words, and the names. Okay. But I got to refer. I can't make for your sake everything simple. Right. Sufism in Iraq was persecuted. Right. Why conservative Muslims persecuting Sufis, punishing Sufis? Because in Islam there is nothing called singing. But the Sufis are singing. There is nothing called Yoga Shastra. Sufis are practicing yoga. For a Sufi, whether you are practicing yoga or whether you are going for a devotional music, are you experiencing the presence of God or not? That is very important. Got the point? Whether it is Hindu, whether it is Jain, whether it is Buddhist, forget about that. It is serving you the purpose of realizing the presence of God. Then why not you accept it? You must have seen Jodha Akbar. In the movie Jodha Akbar, you find Akbar going into trance. Aja Mere Kaja. Understand? Huh? Fantastic song composed, right? Huh? That is Kawali. Yes. When that Qawwali is performed, you see Akbar going into trance. Okay. Without his knowledge, he joins the band. Okay. It happens that way. When divine force falls upon you, you forget everything. You forget your own identity first. You don't know what you are doing. That is the strength and attraction of the divine force. It is above everything. Okay. So Sufis, they are practicing un-Islamic. They are accepting un-Islamic practices, Yoga Shastra, devotional music. That's why Sufis were persecuted. Understand? When persecution started in Iraq, Sufism left Iraq, came to Afghanistan. This is the second stage in the development of Sufism. In this stage, Sufis settled, most of them settled at Herat in Afghanistan. That's where Sufi sects were formed. SECT sect. How many Sufi sects you have? Very popular Sufi sects, 5 sects are there. Okay. First of these 5 and the most popular, Chisti, 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 Shuhravardi, Naqshbandi, Khadri, Roshaniya, Shattariya. Okay, these are all the sects. Sects within Sufism. First to start with, you have Chisti order. Chisti, Chisti. Okay. Chisti order founded by Sheikh Abdul Chisti. Founder Abdul Chisti. Introduced into India, they came to India from Herat. Introduced into India by Muinuddin Chisti. Okay. Sheikh Muinuddin. You must have heard of Muinuddin's Dargah at Ajmer. Okay. This Dargah more visited by Hindus than Muslims. Sheikh Muinuddin's Dargah at Ajmer. Muinuddin, highly respected by Sultan Iltutmish. It was Iltutmish who built the Dargah. Dargah for Muinuddin. Okay. Muinuddin's chief disciple, Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. Kaki, chief disciple of Muinuddin. Kaki, an expert in yoga, Yoga Shastra. Okay. Kaki died in a state of ecstasy. Ecstasy means eternal bliss. Are you understanding? You go to trance, you don't come out of it. You die in trance. That means without your knowledge that you are dying, you die. Okay, that is the blissed state of death. Got the point? Kaki died in a state of ecstasy. Like Kaki Chaitanya Prabhu also. Reciting Kirtanas, he goes into trance. Okay, he dies in trance. Once Qutub Minar is completed, when I go to architecture also, I'll tell you again. The question, whom to be dedicated? Qutub Minar finally dedicated to the memory of Qutbuddin Kaki, Bakhtiyar Kaki, by Iltutmish. In this order Chisti, okay, you have next to Kaki, chain of great saints, peers, gurus. Okay. Chain of the gurus, Baba Fariduddin Shakarganj. Guru is peer. In Islam you call them peer. Baba Shakarganj, Fariduddin Shakarganj. His words are so sweet, he is called Shakarganj. Okay. People used to throng around him. Get the point? Baba Fariduddin Shakarganj teachings, messages found their way into Guru Granth Sahib. Okay, in Guru Granth Sahib, you have the quotes of Baba Fariduddin Shakarganj, very popular. Next to Shakarganj, you have Sheikh Chirag Chishti, okay, great Sufi, Sheikh Chirag. The greatest of these Chishti saints, undoubtedly Hazrat Nizamuddin Aliya, the most popular Sufi saint in India, Hazrat Nizamuddin. Hazrat Nizamuddin Aliya. You have Nizamuddin's Dargah? If time permits, go there. Okay, see the Dargah. Okay. Very well maintained. Hazrat Nizamuddin's Dargah. Okay. Hazrat Nizamuddin Aliya, Pirvo Murshad, that is Paramaguru, and Mahbub-e-Ilahi, the beloved of gods, Mahbub-e-Ilahi. He was the disciple of, he was the most popular Sufi saint. His chief disciple, Amir Khusro. First time you are hearing the name of Amir Khusro. Here afterwards, now you come across everywhere Amir Khusro, Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro, the legendary poet cum singer, literary giant Amir Khusro. Okay. A man of great, multifaceted personality, Amir Khusro, great caliber, Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro, that's the question in UPSC. Amir Khusro comes under which Sufi order? He comes under Chishti. We are discussing now Chishti. He was the disciple of Nizamuddin Aliya. If you go to Nizamuddin's Dargah, first you see Amir Khusro's. Next only Nizamuddin. This is parampara, we call it as a tradition. Guru will not leave you even in your death. When Nizamuddin Aliya died, okay, Amir Khusro died of shock. Understand? The light gone away in your life. Your Guru is your light. Then there is no purpose of you to be on this earth. Okay. This is Nada Sampradaya. Shishya following Guru, taking away the Shishya even in the death. I don't know how many of you had been to Siddhi Sai Baba Samsthan. Siddhi. In Siddhi temple complex also, you have the devotees of Sai Baba all buried very close to the temple. Same complex. Okay. You are very nearer to me, dearer to me. So, even in death, we are together. Are you understanding? That is the idea. Right. Amir Khusro, chief disciple of Nizamuddin. Okay. Both were buried in the same complex. Okay. Chistis, they never accept any gifts or presentations. They suffer poverty. They suffer misery. When you are suffering poverty and when you are suffering misery, you are very close to God. Are you understanding? When you see prosperity, wealth, okay, you will be after that, you will forget God. Got the point? That's why Chistis, they prefer, they voluntarily submit themselves for poverty and misery. They don't go to the courts of sultans, sardars and all that. UPSC asked a question. What is the place where the Sufi saints stay? They stay outside the village, outside the town, in a place called Kankha. Kankharna or Kankha. Kankha means hermitage, the place where the Sufi stays. We call it ashram. In Hinduism, you call it as ashram or mat, just like that. They stay outside the society. Then you have the other Sufi orders. Qadri order, Sheikh Jilani Qadri, secular Qadri order. Dhara Shiko, first son of Shah Jahan, he comes under Qadri order. Okay. Naqshbandi, conservative order. Sheikh Baqiyullah, founder. It was introduced into India by Sheikh Pir Sahib. Okay. Aurangzeb comes under this order. Then Suhravardi, Shihabuddin Suhravardi, founder of the Suhravardi sect. These Suhravardis, they craved for riches. They always sought the company of nobles, sardars. They made huge money. Okay. Richest order. And very soon they became unpopular. When you make money, definitely you are welcoming a problem for yourself. Isn't it? Money, prosperity, wealth and spirituality, they just can't get along with each other. A sense of renunciation is very important. Okay. This is the order. Suhravardi order became very rich and very powerful order, but very soon it became unpopular. Suhravardi. Okay. The other orders are not that important to mention, except Firdausiya order. Firdausiya order, you find it very popular in Bihar. There is a question, which Sufi order is seen popular in Bihar? It was Firdausiya order, founded by Sharahuddin. Great Sharahuddin composed Maktubat and Mulfasat literature. What is Maktubat and Mulfasat literature? The lives and teachings of the great Sufi saints. That is the literature. If you remember Adi Purana, Gunabhadra, Jainasena Suri, they wrote Adi Purana. Adi Purana talks about the lives and teachings of 24 Tirthankas. 24 Tirthankas. On that line, you have Periya Puranam. Periya Puranam, written by Chekkilar. You forgot everything. Huh? I can make out. What for then we are sitting in the class and, listening to the faculty and taking down the notes? You are not interested to listen. I know. Half an hour I have been explaining, but you are not involved in listening. Now you are trying at least to understand what is being taught. If you can understand in the first sentence, okay, you will find it interesting. If you are not understanding, then you will not make an attempt to understand it also. Okay, it's not only a problem with your batch. In every batch they are like that. Some would leave the class also. Okay. Means you are not ready to understand. Tomorrow if a question comes there, okay. Problem is somewhere you are finding you are not ready for hard work, industry and to involve yourself. Involvement. Okay. At least you could recollect what I told you people. Okay. Periya Puranam, Adi Puranam. Understand? When a literature talks about the lives and teachings of the great philosophers and the thinkers, similarly in Sufism, you have Maktubat and Mulfasat literature composed by Sharafuddin. It talks about the lives and teachings of the great Sufi saints. These are the popular Sufi orders. Could you understand? At least 2 points. Sufism means what? Simplicity. Simplicity. Main theme of Sufism, God is just the same. You may not give me exact expression, Wahadat ul Wazud. Okay. God is just the same. Contribution of Sufism. Sufis promoted local language. They preached in Hindi only. Ibn Arabi, he founded the concept Tawhid-e-Ilahi, universal. That Tawhid-e-Ilahi became the basis for Akbar. Akbar's Deen-e Ilahi. Okay. Malik Muhammad Jayasi, a Sufi. Jayasi, a Sufi who wrote Padmavat. You know Rani Padmini? Rana Ratan Singh. Okay. Intense love. Sufis go for the themes wherever you see intensity. Intense devotion to God, intensive love between the love and the lover, that is the theme of Sufis. Intensity is very important. Jayasi wrote Padmavat. Then you have Bilgrami, Haqiq-e-Hind. He wrote Haqiq-e-Hind. There he talks about, Bilgrami talks about Radha, Krishna Bhagavan, Gopikas, their devotion. So here Sufis made a good contribution for literature. Similarly, Sufis, expert singers, Amir Khusro, Pir Bodhan, legendary singers. Understand? They were responsible for promoting Qawwali, a devotional form of music. So Sufism did make good contribution. Right. Did you see at least the synopsis I have given you people? You have not seen, I know. Honestly, accept it. You have not seen. Okay. I know it. You have seen, but you have not studied. This is number 2 category. Number 3, they don't know what even that is all about. अरे दिया नहीं है, वो कुछ नहीं दिया, कुछ नहीं बोला, कुछ नहीं दिया, कंप्लेंट लगाओ. Understand? I don't know which category you fall into. You don't have to read any other textbooks, my dear. First read. The essence I am giving you, you first read this. If you read this, you will come to a commanding position. You can talk to anyone first. Actually, they won't go beyond this framework. Understand? Even if you will be in a position to arrive at the right answer. You may not know exactly the answer, but you can figure out what is not answer. At least come to that one. Okay. Got the point? What I am explaining or understanding? You may not know exactly the answer. Our question is tricky. I don't know the answer for this. Let us see the alternative. A is definitely not answer for this. B, C, D are not. C is not the answer. D is not the answer. There is a chance for B to be the answer. Come to that stage. Okay. In the mains, you don't have to use exact expressions. Wahdatul wazud. Okay. You can simply say unity of God. No one would penalize you for that. Okay. Make things very simple first. Understand them, meditate on them. Okay. Then there is no chance of you forgetting it. Okay. Problem, lack of interest. Explanation, dictation. Explanation, dictation. Explanation, dictation. And break. This is what is really, I am surprised. Would you take a break in the exam hall also? Chalo break jao. 15 minutes break. बाहर जाके बीड़ी सिगरेट पूरा पी के काफी पी के आओ. Break. UPSC will give you break. Lack of patience first. Sahana nahi hai. Then where can you get success? Right. That's about Bhakti movement, Sufi movement. Read the synopsis. I have given you a thorough understanding. Okay, where they failed, what they achieved, what are the similarities and dissimilarities. Come to me when you are not clear about what that is given in the notes. I don't want to waste further your time on this. Then go to part of culture, go to architecture. When it comes to architecture, okay, you have Hindu temple architecture. In Buddhism, Chullavagga, the text on the basis of which stupa, chaitya, vihars were built. In Jainism, you have Acharanga Sutra, the basis for Jain architecture. In Brahmanism, the basis for Hindu temple architecture is Agama Shastra. If you have money, it's not that you have money with you, you can construct a temple as you feel like constructing it. There is one Shastra, science. As per the principles of that Shastra, you must construct the temple. That Shastra is called Agama Shastra, basis for Hindu temple architecture. Agama Shastra tells you three different styles: Nagara, Dravida and Vesara, or Deccan style. These are the three styles in which Hindu temples are built. Construction of the temples in Indian history, if you remember, I gave you a statement. It started with Ikshvakus. While discussing Buddhism, my dear, I told you, Ikshvakus were the first to construct temples in India. In India, not Andhra. They came from Andhra Pradesh. In India itself, they were the first to construct temples, 2nd century AD. Then I said, you may question me also, sir, you mean to say that there are no temples before 2nd century AD? In Vedic knowledge, Vedas, Shastras, okay, we have references to Devagriha. Devagriha means the place where the god stays. There are structures. But the problem is, we are not in a position to conclude that they are temples. Hope you are understanding. In Indus Valley, if you remember, I told you, a structure looking like a temple is found. You cannot call it a temple like that. Yes, it is temple. You can say with certainty that there were temples built in Indian history for the first time under Ikshvakus. Ikshvakus built temples for Pushpabhadra, Ashtabhuja, Kartikeya, Navagraha and Hariti. Hariti, the goddesses for protecting children. And this goddesses Hariti, you got a question again in UPSC. Hariti means goddesses for protecting children. I will explain, I will dictate on now onwards. Listen first. Okay, because you are impatient, dictation नहीं दे रहा है, okay, मन नहीं लग रहा है उधर. Okay, horrible. Okay. See, one is injecting his problem into other. Finally, all come under one cultural system. In this cultural system, no patience to sit. Listen to the teacher first. Okay. In this cultural system, no patience to write for half an hour. If you are not understanding, chhod do. Jao. Idiosyncrasies. Okay. I don't know how you would have been definitely dealt with my senior generation of my teachers. You would have beaten them, I'm telling you. My professor has turned my seminar 3 times. They have thrown it on my face. My sister was there. She felt very much upset. Why is this mad guy here? Why? How many times he made you to write the same thing? I used to keep myself awake till 3 o'clock. It's a very beautiful handwriting. I used to submit him seminar. He said, I'm not happy. Okay. Tears used to trickle down with great difficulty. I used to control. Okay. Then fourth time he said, Srinaya, you have done fantastic work. You could have done very well, but you have not done. That's why I was very angry with you. Okay. I am giving you 18 out of 20. Don't ask this paper again back. I wanted to keep it with me. This is your gift for me. Okay. Lessons would be very harsh. Problem is, you people are not exposed to the harsh realities of life. Okay. That's why you take everything for granted. Not only you, my son also the same thing. He also comes under your generation. Okay. Everything must be made, cut short, tailored, and it must come there in the exam, and I will become IAS. ऐसा बनाना IAS. ऐसा आसान ही है क्या? Calls for lot of sacrifice. Tapasya, involvement. I am telling you, toppers, they are toppers because of only involvement, not because of brains. You do have brains. Who doesn't have brains? They are involved, you are not involved. That is the difference. That's all. They won't leave unless they understand one thing. The moment you are not understanding, you leave the class. That is the difference. Got the point? When it comes to temple architecture, there were devagrihas, but were not seen. Archaeologically not proved. Ikshvakus first to construct temples. First style that had come to the limelight, okay, Nagara style. Nagara means the style of architecture what we see in towns and cities. We call it as Nagara. Elegant, grand in appearance. This Nagara style of temple architecture started with the Guptas first. What are the essential characteristic features of Nagara style? In Nagara, Dravida or Vesara styles, first important thing is temple is built in a square complex. We prefer square complex. In Nagara style of architecture, you will not have entrance gates, open area, not fortified wall or entrance gates. Understand first, visualize it first. Secondly, you have temple built at the center of the complex. Okay. In this temple, you have Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha, sanctum sanctorum. That is Garbhagriha. I am explaining the features of Nagara style. Imagine, try to visualize it. Sanctum sanctorum means cubic, a Garbhagriha. Inside the Garbhagriha, you will have Vedika. This is like Vedika. On Vedika, you install the idols. Okay. Idols of the god or goddesses. Just facing this Vedika in Garbhagriha, you will have Mukhamantapa. Mantapa means hall. That Mukhamantapa is connected to Vedika in Garbhagriha by a narrow passage. That narrow passage is what is called Antarala. Okay, Antarala. This is very close to human anatomy. The temple construction comes very close to human anatomy. Okay. Your way to your heart is through your stomach. Got the point? When you enter into your heart, on the right side you have, it seems, that is where actually the inner light stays. That is Atma. You understand? When we die, this light leaves the body. Okay. Just as you get into that place, through a narrow passage, you are crossing through a narrow passage called Antarala and go to Garbhagriha. That's where you see God. That means when you meditate, sit for your meditation, in your deep meditation, you invert yourself. Okay. Your Antaratma is here. Okay. This is God. Got the point? Likewise, in temple architecture, when you pass through Antarala, narrow passage, you will enter into Garbhagriha. Right. So, Mantapa, Antarala connected to Garbhagriha. Okay. On the top portion of Garbhagriha, you have a curvilinear tower. In the Nagara style, you have a curvilinear tower. This curvilinear tower is what is called Shikara. Shikha. Shikhara. When you tie your hair, okay, into different rounds, it looks like Shikhara. Shikhara is like mountain. Shikhara. The mid portion of this Shikhara is what is called Vimana. Vimana. I'll give you a graphic description later. Vimana. Top portion of Vimana, you have a circular platform or a square platform also. You call it as Amalaka. Amla. Amalaka. Okay. On Amalaka, you fix Kalesh. Kalesh. Kalsha or Kalesh. These are essential aspects of the Nagara style. Are you clear? Explain again. Garbhagriha connected to portico called Mukhamantapa. Mantapa. Connecting Mantapa and Garbhagriha, you have narrow passage. Antarala. Antarala. Okay. On top portion of the Garbhagriha, we have Shikhara, a curvilinear tower called Shikhara. Mid portion of the Shikhara is called Vimana. Top portion of the Shikhara you have Amalaka. Just remember Amla. कुछ तो कुछ ऐसा Amla. Okay, Amalaka. On top portion of Amalaka you have Shikhar. You have Kalesh. Kalesh. These are essential aspects of the Nagara style. Are you clear? Okay. This apart, in the Nagara style, other important things are at the entrance of the Sanctum Sanctorum, Garbhagriha, you will have Ganga Yamuna images. Okay, I don't know how many of you have observed. In old structures in North India, whichever the temple you go, at the entrance you will have on the right side and left side images of Ganga, river Ganga and Yamuna. Ganga, Yamuna images at the entrance of the Sanctum Sanctorum, Garbhagriha. Then you will not have water tanks, Yajna-shalas in the Nagara style within the temple complex. You will not have water tanks, Yajna-shalas within the temple complex. Generally, stone is the material used. They don't use metal. Generally, they don't use metal. They use only stone for the construction. Understand? You also see temples in Panchayatana style. What is Panchayatana style? Panchayatana style means temple for five. One for the presiding god. Presiding god invariably would be Shiva. Shiva at the main temple, and his right side you will see two temples. One for Vishnu, the other one for Surya Bhagavan. The left side you see one for Kanagadurga, the other one for Ganapati Maharaj. So put together 5 temples. Panchayatana means that is the style. Clear? These are essential aspects of the Nagara style of architecture. How this Nagara style of architecture developed under Guptas? There are developments made over a period of time. First, take a note. Take a note. Give the heading Temple Architecture. Temple Architecture. Hindu temple architecture is based on the principles of, it's based on the principles of Agama Shastra, AGAMA, Agama Shastra, full stop. AGAMA, Agama Shastra, SHASTRA, full stop. According to it, there are three different styles. Nagara, Dravida, and Vasara, Vasare. Vasara or Deccan style. Nagara, Dravida, and Vasara or Deccan style. Full stop. Huh? Anything? Huh? द्रविड़ दक्कन में आता है? नहीं आता, नहीं लेना. Clear? Dravid means deep south, the land between three rivers. The word Dravida used by Shankaracharya for the first time. He says, I am Dravida Shishu. He is coming from Kerala. Got the point? So, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. This is deep south. Deep south means actually Tamil Nadu, Kerala, deep south. Got the point? Fine. Next paragraph. In the Vedic literature, there were references to Devagrihas. Devagrihas, underline Devagrihas, which implied temples, which meant temples. However, we had no evidence of them. Full stop. Next paragraph. Ikshvaku, IKSHVAKU. IKSHVAKU. Ikshvakus, KUS. Ikshvakus, who ruled Nagarjun Sagar. Were the first to construct temples. In India. They built temples for Ikshvakus built temples for Pushpabhadra, Ashtabhuja, Kartikeya, Navagraha, and Hariti. Full stop. Hariti, full stop there, add one more sentence. Hariti, goddesses for protecting children. Hariti. Hariti, goddesses for protecting children. Full stop. Now give the subheading. Nagara style of temple architecture. It started in India first with the Guptas. It started in India first with the Guptas. Full stop. The essential aspects of the style, unique aspects of the Nagara style, essential aspects of the style are, underline essential aspects, semicolon number 1. Generally, temples were built. Generally, temples were built in square complex. In open area, without entrance gates. Material used is stone. In general, material used is stone. Full stop. Next paragraph. Garbhagriha, G-A-R-B-A, Garbhagriha or sanctum sanctorum. Garbhagriha, sanctum sanctorum, is connected to a hall called Mantapa. Hall called Mantapa, M-A-N-T-A-P-A. Hall called Mantapa, through a narrow passage, called Antarala. A narrow passage called Antarala. Full stop. Next paragraph. At the entrance of Garbhagriha, we see on both sides the images of Ganga and Yamuna. Ganga and Yamuna. Full stop. Next paragraph. On the top portion of Garbhagriha, above the Garbhagriha, write like that, not top portion, my dear. Above Garbhagriha, that's the right expression. Above Garbhagriha, we find curvilinear tower. Curvilinear tower called Shikara. Curvilinear tower called Shikara. Underline Shikara. Full stop. Shikara is the unique aspect. Shikara is the utmost unique aspect. Shikara is the utmost unique aspect of the Nagara style. Full stop. The mid portion of Shikara is called Vimana. Clear? You must have seen the temples of North India like this. This whole structure is called Shikhara. Mid portion of the Shikhara, Vimana, Amalaka and Kalesh. Full stop. What's the statement I gave there? Called Vimana. Full stop. On the top portion of Shikhara, a circular or sometimes square base is formed or is built called Amalaka. Full stop. The topmost portion of Shikara at the center of Amalaka, Kalish is installed. Kalish is installed. Full stop. Next paragraph. Apart from Mantapa, Mantapa means hall. Apart from Mantapa, in Nagara style, different types of mantapas called Bhogamantapa. Bhogamantapa, where donations and offerings were made to the temple, and Nityamantapa, N-R-I-T-Y-A, Nityamantapa, meant for performing dance, performing dance are also seen full stop. Next paragraph. In general, next paragraph, write like this. In the style, we also see temples built. In the Nagara style, we also see the temples built. In Panchayatana system, in Panchayatana system, in Panchayatana system, Panchayatana system, underline Panchayatana system, comma, temple for one presiding god, temple for one presiding god, and 4 supplementary temples, 4 supplementary temples called Upalayas. Alaya, Upalaya. Called Upalayas, underline Upalayas, for Upalayas for Surya, Vishnu, Surya on one side, and Durga and Ganapati on the other side. Full stop. Next paragraph. Absence of water tanks. Absence of water tanks and Yagnashala. And Yagnashala means place for performing rituals. And Yagnashala. Absence of water tanks and Yagnashalas. Sha Dirga. Yagnashalas in the main complex. In the main complex is the other unique aspect. Full stop. Are you clear? This is about Nagara style. Okay. How this Nagara style developed? Okay. Over a period of time under the Guptas, first understand. It developed under different stages. In the first stage, they developed the temple on a small platform. Small platform, one small cubic, okay, called Garbhagriha, with a flat roof. Flat roof. This Garbhagriha connected to a pillared hall called Mantapa. That's all. This is the first stage. First stage, it's very simple. Very small room connected to Mantapa with a flat roof. This is the first and the earliest structure. Okay, where do you see this structure? There is one temple called Temple 17 at Sanchi. Okay, archaeologically you give numbers for the temple. Okay, that Temple 17 Sanchi, the first and the earliest temple under the Guptas. That is the first stage. In the second stage, they developed the platform slightly higher. In the first stage, it is much less. Okay. Now in the second stage platform, slightly developed, slightly higher platform. In the first stage, you have only flat roofed cubic. In the second stage, you have 2 stories. 2 stories. third stage is very important. In the third stage, you have these two stories all completely replaced by Shikara. Where do you see Shikara in the Guptan architecture? In which stage? Third stage. You have Shikara. Secondly, in the third stage also we have seen Panchayatana system of constructing the temples. This also appeared in the third stage. Okay. Give me the examples for second and third stage. Second stage, I said platform slightly higher platform. Okay. And you have one story only. Okay. In the second stage, you also had another important aspect I forgot to tell you. A passage for performing pradakshin. That is called Pradakshina Pada. This is also provided in the second stage. Good example for second stage, Parvati temple at Nachanakutara. That's the example for second stage. In the third stage, I told you have Shikhara appeared. Shikhara appeared, Panchayatana system also appeared. What is example for this stage? That is Dashavatar temple, Devgar. That is the example for the third stage. In the fourth stage, Sanctum Sanctorum, very small actually, it got rectangularly expanded. Sanctum Sanctorum became rectangularly expanded Sanctum Sanctorum. Classic example for this, Ther temple. Ther temple at Kolhapur. That is the example for this. In fourth stage, you have circular temple. Temple looking like a circle. Got the point? This also appeared. This way, you have different developments, stages of development in the Nagara style. Take a note. Any questions? Right. Which one? Say loudly. 1 second. What does he say? That is the example for a circular temple. Clear? It's built, it looks like a parliament bhavan. Right? The same structures you see in the Nagara style also, in the Vaisar style also. It looks like a circle, looking like our parliament. That's the question given. The temple you are talking about, Yogini temple, you are talking about in Madhya Pradesh. Yes. Take a note. Evolution of Nagara style. Evolution of Nagara style. In the first stage, only a small cubical sanctum sanctorum built covered by a flat roof and the temple built on slightly elevated platform. Full stop. It is connected to a small pillared portico, 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 called Mantapa. Full stop. Classic example for the style is okay, Temple 17 at Sanchi. Temple 17 at Sanchi. Full stop. Next paragraph. In the second stage, two-storied temple structure appeared. Two-storied temple structure appeared. Full stop. A passage for circumambulation. A passage for circumambulation. CIRCUMBULATION. A passage for circumambulation called Pradakshinapata. CIRCUMBULATION. Circumambulation called Pradakshina Pada. PADA. Pradakshinapada is provided. Example for this stage is Parvati temple. Parvati temple at Nachankutara, Nachan. At Nachankutara. Full stop. Next paragraph. In the third stage, the utmost unique aspect of the Nagara style Shikhara appeared. Full stop. Mark it important. Panchayatana system of constructing temples. Also appeared for the first time. Example, Dasha Avatar temple. At Devgar. First. Next, in the fourth stage, Garbhagriha became rectangular. Example, Ter temple, T-E-R, T capital letter, T-E-R, Ter temple at Sholapur, S-H-O-L-A-P-U-R. Next, in the fifth stage, temples built in circular shape appeared. Example, Maniyar Mutt, Maniyar, M-A-N-I-Y-A-R, M-A-N-I-Y-A-R, Maniyar Mutt, M-A-T-H, Maniyar Mutt, okay. Maniyar Mutt in Rajgir, Rajagriha, Rajgir, full stop. Next paragraph. Other temples of the Gupta age, built in Nagara style, Vishnu temple at Bitargaon, Vishnu temple at Bitargaon, built completely with bricks. It's a brick structure completely. Comma. Shiva temple at Bhumra, Shiva temple at B-H-U-M-R-A, Shiva temple at Bhumra, and another Vishnu temple at Tigwa, T-I-G-H-W-A, at Tigwa, T-I-G-H-W-A, full stop. These are the temples built in Gupta age. Now listen. Nagara style developed under Guptas in course of time had its own branches, different branches of the style. These branches of the Nagara style we find in Odisha, okay, under Ganga dynasty, Shailodbhava dynasty, Shailodbhavas, Somavamsi and Gangas. They all ruled Odisha. Their wonderful constructions, the highest stage of the Nagara style. Okay. Where you see Nagara style reaching its perfection means it is Odisha. Okay. Then you come to central part of India, you have Chendelas of Bundelkhand. They also developed their own style, a branch of the Nagara style. You call it as Chendela style. Temples in Khajuraho and Mahotsavanagar, they come under Chendela style. Then you go to Gujarat, there you see Solanki style. Understand? Classic examples for these styles, to begin with in Odisha, you have Lingaraja temple. Okay, monumental work Lingaraja temple, perfection in Nagara style. Okay. For some, not Lingaraja temple, Sun temple, Konark. Understand? Classic examples for this style in Odisha, Odian architecture, to begin with Lingaraja temple. Lingaraja temple built by Jajati Kesari, the king who built it, Jajati Kesari. Class apart, the highest stage of the perfection of Nagara style. Then if you remember, I told you, Narasimhadeva, he built sun temple at Konark. You call it as pagoda, black pagoda. Okay. Sun rays would straight away fall into the Garbhagriha. This technique of, constructing the structure, attracting the first sun ray into Garbhagriha, you also see at Arsavalli. Arsavalli is Suryanarayana temple. Okay. The early morning between 5:30 to 6, the races will touch. Right. First rays will fall on the feet of Surya Bhagavan. Okay. Black pagoda. For some historians, this is the highest stage. Magnificent structure, imposing structure. Okay. If you go to Sun Temple, Konark, you see this. In the main complex, there you see in the Sanctum Sanctorum, you don't have Surya Bhagavan statue. Very huge Surya Bhagavan statue, but unfortunately Sultans destroyed it. Understand? You can only see chariot, entire temple in the form of chariot. Okay. How Surya rides his 7 horses, okay, that is the idea of the construction. When you look at it from a distant, 1 kilometer, distance, at the temple it looks like a chariot, built like a chariot, okay, for Surya Bhagavan. Fantastic conception and execution more so. So, for art historians, this is better than Lingaraja temple, Raja Rani temple, the other temple, Puri Jagannath temple. Raja Rani temple is for sexual art, Kamakala. If you go to Konark Sun temple also, on the walls of the temple you see erotic art. I mean eroticism, Kamakala. Okay. In India, Kamakala is a Shastra. Okay. It is a science given divine status. In Kamakala, man, woman both derive sexual pleasure. Whichever gives you pleasure, it has some divine sanctity. There are certain norms you are expected to follow here. Otherwise, there is no difference between you and animals. Got the point? Vatsyayana is rated very high. It's because Vatsyayana is treating this as a subject. Okay, nowhere in the world, I am telling you, my dear, this is Shastras developed. Do you have any Shastra dealing with sexual art in Europe? Nahi hai. Wild animals. Understand? How to treat woman? This is not there as a subject matter. India never conceals anything. Here it is, everything is public. Okay. Everything is public, so I go around naked. Aisa nahi hai. Okay. Understand. Naked means understand in its reality. Okay. When you see this sexual art, when you get into the temple, there you have Bhagavan. Enough is enough, you have enjoyed. Now at least you connect yourself to the Supreme Being. That's why on temple walls you have Kamakala depicted. Are you understanding? Not to give a vulgar exhibition. Never Indian society talks of vulgarity. Okay. I understand it in the right sense. That's the meaning. Okay. So, Rajarani temple, Konark Sun temple, Konark, they are the classic examples for the Orient style. Okay. Then you go to Chendelas of Bundelkhand region. Here you see what differentiates these styles is, I forgot to mention. In Nagara style, you have on the Shikhara, topmost portion, you have Shikhara, right? Shikhara top portion. And the Shikhara on your right side and left side, you see plain. Planes, planes. These planes are called, okay, they are meant for depicting the sculptures, Ratha. They look like Rathas. Okay. Within the Shikhara, you will have a space called Ratha. Okay. They are meant for depicting the theme, Puranic theme. If the god is Shiva or Vishnu, Puranas connected to Shiva or Vishnu, they are meant to be depicted there. These Radhas, numbers wise, they are odd numbers. Triratha, Pancharatha, Saptaratha, Navaratha. They are not even. Got the point? This number of rathas differs from style to style again. Okay, I forgot to mention, you have got to add this. Okay, now listen first. When you go to Khajuraho temples, by Chendelas, Kandivaraya temple, Lakshmana temple, Parshvanatha temple. Sir, you mean Jainism also? Yes. That is unique aspect of the style. In this style, not only Hindu, you have temples built for Jain Tirthankars. Black basalt is used, okay, as a material. Okay. The most popular temple, Kandivaraya temple, magnificent temple. Interiors are decked with intrinsic designing. Designing is also a fantastic aspect of the Khajuraho temples. Okay. Then go to Gujarat. There you have Solanki style. Take a note. Because you can't retain the memory, I know that. Okay. For every 10 minutes we have to give dictation. Otherwise you will forget. Chalo. Give the subheading. Different styles of the Nagara architecture. Different styles of the Nagara architecture. Before that, under Nagara style, unique aspects I told you, first part. Important aspects of Nagara style. Okay, important aspects of Nagara style, you please add there. Important aspects of Nagara style, before Nagara style under the Guptas, I told you, important aspects of Nagara style, please add one more point there. Ratha, R-A-T-H-A. Rathas, R-A-T-H-A-S. Underline rathas are planes, P-L-A-N-E-S. P-L-A-N-E-S. Planes. Rathas are planes in the Shikara. Rathas are planes, P-L-A-N-E-S. Planes in the Shikara meant for sculptures. Meant for sculptures depicting the legends, depicting the Puranic themes. Meant for sculptures depicting Puranic, P-U-R-A-N-I-C. Puranic theme, T-H-E-M-E-S, themes, full stop. Generally, they are in odd numbers. Rathas in odd numbers, 3, 5, 7 and 9. 3, 5, 7 and 9. Underline rathas. Are you clear? Now come to this. Different Nagara styles. Different branches of Nagara style. Nagara style expanded and flourished under different styles, under different regional styles. In Kalinga, Kalinga or Odisha, it was developed by Eastern Ganga. Eastern Ganga, Somavamsi, and Shailodbhava. Eastern Ganga, Somavamsi, and Shailodbhava dynasties. Full stop. The classic examples for the style number one, the Lingaraja temple, Bhubaneswar. Lingaraja temple, Bhubaneswar, built by Jajati Kesari. Jajati Kesari. Jajati Kesari marks the highest stage of the development. Marks the highest stage of the development of Nagara style. Full stop. Rajarani temple, depicts the sculptures of sexual art. Full stop. The Sun Temple at Konark, Sun Temple at Konark was built by Narasimhadeva, called pagoda. First, the Puri Jagannath temple, Puri Jagannath temple, built by Anant Chodagangadeva. Anant Choda, CHOD, Gangadeva. Next paragraph. In Bundelkhand region, next paragraph, give the subheading Chandela architecture. Give the subheading Chandela architecture. It flourished in Bundelkhand region. It flourished in Bundelkhand region. REGION, region, with its main centers Khajuraho and Mahotsav Nagar. Khajuraho and Mahotsav Nagar. Full stop. The unique aspects of the style number one, not only Hindu but Jain. Not only Hindu but also Jain temples were built. Secondly, temples known for excellent intricate designing. Excellent intricate designing. Next, number three, extensive depiction of extensive depiction of the sculptures of Maithuna couples. Extensive depiction of the sculptures of Maithuna couple, couple, Maithuna couple, and the sexual art. And the sexual art, Kamakala, full stop. Next paragraph. The important temples are Kandiraya, temple, Parshvanath temple, and Lakshmana temple. Next, give the subheading Solanki style. Third one under Nagara style, Solanki style of temple architecture. Solanki style of temple architecture flourished in Gujarat. Unique aspects: costly white limestone, and basalt, black basalt, BESALT, basalt, were the materials used. Full stop. Next, style is known for wonderful designing. Next, temples for both Hindu and Jain. Temples were built for both Hindu gods and Jain Tirthankars. Next, number 4. Modera temple, very important. Modera, M-O-D-E-R-A. Modera temple Modera temple, built for Surya Bhagavan, is exclusively known for step tank, STEP, step tanks. Step tanks called Surya Kund. Have you ever seen this? In the movie at least? Surya Kund. Okay. What is meant by this? Okay. You have tank, right? In this tank you have different layers. At every layer, at every step, you have small temples at every stage of this tank construction. From top to bottom, you go to the bottom, you have different steps. At every step, you will see a small temple built. These small temples built at every step, at every level, is what is called Surya Kund. Okay, this you don't see it anywhere else. That is the utmost unique aspect. Okay, Surya Kund, right? Modera temple, known for Surya Kund, unique aspect of Surya Kund, okay, was built by King Bhima I. Full stop. He also built, Bhima I also built Dilwara temple, D-I-L-W-A-R-A. Dilwara, D-I-L-W-A-R-A. Dilwara temple at Mount Abu. First, temples built by Tejpal. Temples built by Tejpal. Tejpal also come under this style. Mark Modera Sun temple important. Dilwara temple important. Next, in the Malwa region, Madhya Pradesh, Malwa, next paragraph, number 4. In the Malwa, M-A-L-W-A, Malwa region, Madhya Pradesh, another branch of Nagara style developed. Under Paramaras, P-A-R-A-M-A-R, Paramas. Under Paramaras, P-A-R-A-M-A-R, Paramas. Classic example for the style, Nilakanteshwar temple. Nilakanteshwar temple built by King Aditya, King Udayaditya. Uday Aditya. Full stop. Fine. These are the different styles, sub-styles within Nagara style. Go for break. Take 5 minutes break. Is it time? What is time now? 11:25. 11:25. Take break 10 minutes, 11:35. I may exceed 10, 12 o'clock limit. We may go up to 12:15. Let's complete architecture, at least Indian temple architecture. Indo-Islamic architecture, I can handle it in the next class. Right. Now, in Nagara style, after that, we have Dravida and Vesara styles. When it comes to Dravida style, okay, the style of temple architecture developed in the deep south and proper south Dravida style. Dravida, the word that itself reflects the social, economic and cultural life of the people of South India in the temple architecture. In South, I mean temple the main center for social activity, temple the center for education, temple center for performing arts, temple center for your, court of justice. Generally, judges, dispense their justice in the temple complex. Temple, a major center for economic activity. Temples very rich temples in South India with hundreds and hundreds of acres of land. Temple, a center where elections would be held. So temple is the main center for socio-economic system of South. That's why you name Dravida style of temple architecture, because Dravidian life, our day-to-day life is centered around temple. I still remember my grandparents telling me, go to temple, either to play or to study or for any other ritual performance, to be performed there. Temple is the main center for us. Okay. Then this grand Dravidian style of temple architecture, okay, what are the essential aspects of the style? It is just like Dravida, Nagara style. Dravidian style, just like Nagara style, when it comes to Mantapa, Antarala, Garbhagriha. They are just the same. Next, they are also just the same with regarding construction of the temple in square complex. Then where Dravida style differs? In what way Dravida style differs from the Nagara style? In the Dravidian style of constructing temples, you have 4 entrances. Okay. At every entrance, you will have Rajagopuram. Okay. Gopuram is the essential aspect of the Dravida style. Okay. In Nagara style, you generally will not have any entrance open. Whereas in Dravida style, you will have 4 entrances. Entrance gates, 4 entrances. At every entrance, you will have the towering pyramidical structure. You call it as Gopuram. This is Gopuram. Okay. Similarly, you will have Gopurams in all the 4 directions. Okay. These Gopurams called by name Rajagopuram, King Tower. Raja means king. King Tower, because massive Gopurams. You see massive Gopurams in all the 4 directions. That's why they are called King Gopurams. Okay. When you come to the main entrance, generally the temples face the east. Okay, either in Nagara style or Dravida style, temples face eastern direction. Okay. At the eastern gate, the main temple, you will have 2 massive stone images. Generally in the Dravida style, we will have stone images of King Lion or King Elephant. King Lion, you call it Rajasimha. King Elephant, we call it as Gajaraj. Very huge stone statues, imposing, awe-striking lion stone statue. Or elephant stone statue at the main entrance. This main entrance, all the entrances are called Rajagopurams. Eastern entrance is the main entrance. When you cross this entrance and enter into the main temple complex, this is the main temple complex. You have Mantapa. Mantapa means, my dear, Mantapa means hall. This hall is connected to Sanctum Sanctorum, Antarala. Antarala is narrow passage. You have here the cubic. Okay. This is the Garbhagriha. Here you have Vedika. Okay. In this Vedika, you have the idol of God. Let us say Shiva is placed. Okay. On this again, you will have another Gopuram. This Gopuram is small in size, called Gali Gopuram. We call it as Gali Gopuram. Are you understanding? Okay. That's why I said it looks like a human body, anatomy. Okay. If you say this is your stomach, this is the passage. This is Antarala, is just like, Garbhagriha is just like your right side of your heart. Okay. In Dravida style, the utmost unique aspect is, invariably, this Gopura is called Gali Gopura. Gali Gopura would be definitely smaller than the main Gopura. Invariably, it would be smaller than the main Gopura. Only exception, Brihadishwara temple. In Brihadishwara temple or Rajarajeshwaram, Tanjore, okay, Gali Gopura is much taller than Rajagopura. Are you understanding? This Gali Gopura much taller than that of Rajagopura. Right. Next, in Nagara style, I said at the entrance of Sanctum Sanctorum, this is Sanctum Sanctorum, Garbhagriha. At the entrance, you will have in the Nagara style, Ganga Yamuna. Right. In the Dravida style, you will have Dwarapalakas. Dwarapalakas. Okay, Jaya Vijaya, we call them. Okay, at the entrance of the, Garbhagriha. And inside this temple complex, you will have Yajnashala. Yajnashalas meant for performing yajnas, yagas, and all that. In the Dravida style, you will also have within complex extensive construction of mantapas. This is called Mukha Mantapa. The mantapa facing the god, you call it as Mukha, face, Mukha Mantapa. Then you will have Kalyana Mantapas, remember? Okay. In Vijayanagar style, I mentioned. While discussing Vijayanagar style of temple architecture, I dictated. Okay. Did I or did I not? Yes. You will have Kalyana Mantapas, Natamantapa, Bhogamantapa. Natamantapa means where you perform dance. Bhogamantapa where you give the offerings. Okay. That way, in the complex itself, you will see different types of mantapas. Okay. This is the Dravida style. Okay. Take a note. The Dravida style of temple architecture developed in deep south. First, it is quite similar to the Nagara style. Nagara style with regarding Mantapa, Antarala, Garbhagriha, Vimana and Kalisha. That means they are all just the same. Vimana and Kalish. Full stop. Secondly, temples are also built in square complex. Full stop. However, the differences are, next paragraph, underline differences. However, the differences are unlike Nagara style, in Dravida style in general, temples would have 4 entrance gates. First, at every gate, massive pyramidal structure called Rajagopuram, R-A-J-A, Rajagopurams, G-O-P-U-R-A-M, Raja, R-A-J-A, Rajagopurams are built. Underline Rajagopuram. Full stop. Gopuram is the utmost unique aspect. Gopuram is the utmost unique aspect of the Dravida style. Full stop. Next paragraph. At the main entrance facing the east, we find either the stone statues of either the stone statues of King Lion, L-I-O-N, within brackets, Raja Simha, S-I-M-H-A, brackets close, or King Elephant, called Gajaraj. Full stop. Next paragraph. Other differences are at the entrance of Garbhagriha, unlike Nagara style, we find the images of Dwarapalakas. Dwara, D-W-A-R-A. Dwara means entrance. Palak, P-A-L-A-K-A. P-A-L-A-K-A-S, Palakas. ये पालक नहीं है कि Dwarapalakas. Underline Dwarapalakas. Next, number 2. At the top portion of, write like this. Above sanctum sanctorum, above Garbhagriha, we have small gopura called, small gopura called Gali Gopura, Gali. Gali Gopura, which height-wise much lesser than, height-wise much smaller, much lesser than Rajagopura. Full stop. Next paragraph. Unlike Nagara style, comma, we find water tanks. Do you see water tanks in Nagara style? No, that's why I am using unlike Nagara style. Unlike Nagara style, we find water tanks, comma, Yagnashala, Yagna, Y-A-G-N-A, Yagnashalas, Yagnashala. You want spelling? Y-A-G-N-A-S-A-L-A, Shala, S-A hyphen, that's stressed, A. Yagnashalas inside the temple complex. Full stop. Now just put a full stop there. Now you have an idea, Dravida style? Yes. When it comes to Dravida style, if you remember, I told you Pallavas were the first to construct the temples. How Pallavan temple architecture became the basis for Dravida style? Okay. If you could recollect what I told you, Narasimhavarman I, he built 7 monolithic temples called Rathas. I mentioned this word. 7 monolithic temples called Rathas at Mahabalipuram. Monolithic. Actually, they are 8 in number, I said. Of the 7, 4 for Pandavas. Dharmaraj, Bhim, Arjun and Sahadev. No temple for Nakula. I told you this. Good, you were responding. Then another temple for Draupadi. Valayan Kuttai, Pidari, Kannan, these are the other gods where the temples are given for. Of these 8 temples, Dharmaraja temple the biggest, most spacious. That temple had become the basis for Dravida style of temple architecture. How do you say that had become the basis? In this Dharmaraja cave temple, Dharmaraja monolithic temple, you see Gopuram first. Gopuram is the essential aspect of Dravida style. Where you see Gopuram? You see Gopuram here for the first time. In the Dharmaraja temple, a rock-cut temple, monolithic temple. Okay. That way you can say these monolithic temples had become the basis for the construction of the Dravida style of temple architecture, temples. Okay. After Narasimhavarman, I told you his grandson, Narasimhavarman II. Narasimhavarman I built 7 temples. Narasimhavarman II, he built shore temple on the banks of, on the shore of Bay of Bengal. Shore temple. It was dedicated to Martand. If you remember, I told you. Same Narasimhavarman II, in the city Kanchipuram, he built Kailasnath temple. Okay, massive temple. So you see the development, size-wise huge temples appearing. Next, in the third stage, you have Nandivarman. Nandivarman built Vaikunta Perumal temple, much bigger than that. So Pallavan temple architecture had laid the basis for, had laid the foundations for the great Dravidian style of temple architecture. This great Dravidian style of temple architecture had seen its perfection, highest stage, under the Cholas. Rajaraja Chola, he built a Brihadishwara temple, Rajarajeshwaram at Tanjore, Tanjavur. While explaining this under the Cholas, I gave you a statement also. It's the biggest temple complex in early medieval India. Okay. Brihadishwara temple. Okay. Brihadishwara temples, Gali Gopuram, much taller than Rajagopuram. That's the only exception. Okay. In general, it is not like that. Generally, Gali Gopura is smaller, whereas Gali Gopura is much bigger than that of Rajagopura in Brihadishwara temple, Tanjore. Massive temple complex. You have to raise your head fully to see the Gopura. Their topmost portion of Gopura, I said 20 tons. Actually, it is not 20 tons, 80 tons. Stone being raised to that level and placed there. Okay. I mean, on the topmost portion of the Gopura, you see Gali Gopura, a 20-ton weighing stone placed with beautifully carved designing. Question, how they could lift the stone to that height? That is the question. Understand? This is the highest stage of the Dravidian style of temple architecture. Similarly, under the Cholas, Airavateshwara temple at Darashuram, Airavateshwara temple at Darashuram, and Gangaikonda Chola temple at Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Okay. They all come under the classic, Dravidian style of the temple architecture under Cholas. Okay. While discussing Vijayanagara Empire, I told you under Dravida style, there are regional styles. Just as you had come to know, Nagara style, it has its own regional centers. Odisha, Bundelkhand, Gujarat, Malwa. Similarly, Dravida style had its own regional centers. What are the regional centers? Chola, Kakatiya, Pandya, Hoysala. These are all local dynasties. Okay. Cholas, okay, just now we have discussed Chola architecture. Right? It's a regional architecture. Then Kakatiyas. Kakatiya architecture is known for what? I dictated while, discussing Vijayanagara Empire. Kakatiya style is characterized by, number one, temples built on gratted platform, a platform. Okay. Extensive use of stone pillars with beautifully carved designs. Okay. Next, number three, delicacy in the sculpture. Kakatiyan sculpture is known for delicacy, that smooth railing, finishing in the sculpture. Then I also used the word Nagara-torana. Nagara-toranas means city entrance gates. Nagara means city. Torana means entrance gate. Okay, they look like this. Nagara-toranas. Understand? These are essential aspects of the Kakatiya style. Kindly, all of you go back to Vijayanagara Empire. You kindly go through Vijayanagara Empire, your notes. I dictated. Please go back to Vijayanagara Empire. I have to add, kindly. Go to Vijayanagara Empire. There the last part of the Vijayanagara Empire, cultural contribution of Vijayanagara rulers. Did you see? Under cultural contribution of Vijayanagara rulers, I discussed the regional styles. Could you figure out? Kakatiya style. Could you figure out, my dear? Yes. Kakatiya style. There, kindly add one sentence, please. Kakatiya style, you please add one sentence. Ramappa Temple, Ramappa. If you have not seen that, kindly note down and you can add it there under Kakatiya style. Ramappa Temple, Ramappa. Ramappa Temple at Palampet, Palampet. Ramappa Temple at Palampet, Palampet. Palampet, Palampet, okay, is best known for the Kakatiyan sculpture. Kakatiya sculpture. Recently it was made, very important, that's why I am dictating this. Palampet Temple. Recently it was made part of World Heritage Site by UNESCO. World Heritage Sites by UNESCO. Which temple is this? Ramappa Temple at Palampet. Right. Then you go to there, you see, within there only, you see after Kakatiyas I dictated Hoysala architecture. Remember? Platforms built on grafted platform looking like star-shaped platforms. I told you, intricate designing, Hoysala style. Okay. Thirdly, I said sculptor's style. Remember? The name of the sculptor inscribed. Right? These are essential aspects. Right? Hoysala style. Okay. Kindly add there. Classic example for the style. Classic example for Hoysala style. Hoysaleshwara Temple. Hoysaleshwar. Hoysaleshwara Temple at Halebid. 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 Built by Vishnuvardhana. Vishnuvardhan. Full stop. Okay. This is about Dravida style. Got the point? And its regional styles. When you go to Vesara style or Deccan style, this is the style developed in Karnataka with its main centers Badami, Aihole and Pattadakal. 3 main centers. Pattadakal main center for the Vesara style or Deccan style. What are the essential aspects of this style? It's a mixed style. Mixed style in the sense North Indian Shikhara, the South Indian Dravidian Gopuram, both you see in this style. What is the unique aspect of the Nagara style? Shikhara. Dravida style? Gopura. You find both. Where do you see both? In the Vesara style or Deccan style, temples are in general built in circular shape. Okay. You have entrance, 2 entrances. One is east facing, the other one is south facing. Very interesting. Okay. At the entrance, you will have the Dravida style Gopuram. Once you cross this entrance, you get into the main complex. you have here Mantapa. Mantapa connected to the sanctum sanctorum called Garbhagriha. Right. Here on the top portion of the Garbhagriha, you will have the Kalesh. That is, you will have the Shikhara. Shikhara on the top portion of the sanctum sanctorum. Whereas at the entrance you see Gopura. Gopura. That way, Gopura and Shikhara both are seen. In this sense, it is mixed style. Secondly, it's mixed style because you have temples representing pure Dravidian style, okay, and temples built representing pure Nagara style. Okay, temples built side by side with both Nagara style and Dravida style, side by side. In that sense also it is mixed style. Right. Second important aspect of this style is, okay, huge rock boulders are attached. Okay, it's like this. Okay, this is a solid rock boulder attached. Understand? Without any cement or mortar in between. Got the point? Entire edifice, structure develops like that. They don't use any cement or mortar. Okay. How do you know that there is no cement and mortar in between the two stones? I told you, you can draw a paper placing between the two, draw the paper from one end to the other end. You are getting the paper from one end to the other end, placing it between the two stones. That means there is nothing called cement or mortar. The structures remain like that for more than 1,500 years. Okay. This is one unique aspect of this style. Okay. Classic examples for this style, Vesara style. Okay. Papanasheshwar temple. Satyasraya he built. Sangameshwara temple also he built at Pattadakal. Virupaksha temple built by Queen Lokamahadevi. Okay. These are classic examples. Take a note. Okay. What time is it? Okay, I asked you, just give me 5 more minutes time. I'll stop after this. What's time now? 12:20. Shit. I do have class at 1 o'clock. You also have class? Sorry, right, my dear. I will discuss next class. Okay. It's not.